Welcome to Illustrate to Educate. Please subscribe and ring the bell for more simple and objective videos on topics that matter. In this video, we'll look at what midterms are and why they're important in American politics. In the second part of this video, we'll look at the most important issues from the 2022 midterms. Midterms are a set of elections that occur between presidential elections and during the term of the incumbent president or president in office. In a midterm, all 435 seats in the House of Representatives and approximately a third of the 100 seats in the Senate are up for grabs to determine the next United States Congress. Congressional elections happen every 2 years. The congressional elections that took place in November 2022 were midterms, while the next midterms will take place in 2026 and 2030, and so on. Also during a midterm, there can be statewide elections for governor or state legislature, as well as elections for judges, local officials, and ballot initiatives. Next, let's do a quick refresher on the difference between the House of Representatives and the Senate. Members of the U.S. House of Representatives serve 2-year terms. This is why all 435 members get elected every midterm and presidential election year. To be a representative, you must be at least 25, a U.S. citizen for at least 7 years, and live in the state you represent. The number of representatives a state has depends on the population, and each representative serves a specific congressional district within a state. Senators, on the other hand, serve 6-year terms. This is why 1/3 of senators get elected during each midterm and each presidential election year. A senator differs from a member of the House of Representatives because they must be at least 30, a U.S. citizen for at least 9 years, and similarly live in the state they represent. There are 100 U.S. senators, 2 from each state. Most of the attention of midterm elections are focused on the 2 chambers of Congress, the House of Representatives and the Senate. Many political experts put the importance of midterms simply by stating whichever party, Democratic or Republican Party, controls the House or the Senate, controls the political agenda for the next 2 years. The majority party, whether Democrats or Republicans, ultimately determines who leads the important congressional committees that discuss legislation. In addition, a president's ability to accomplish his or her agenda has everything to do with whether their party controls the 2 houses of Congress. Let's look specifically at the 2022 midterms. Going into the midterms, the Democratic Party held the majority in the House of Representatives with 220 seats compared to the Republican Party, who had 212. The race was competitive and closer than expected, with results showing that the Republicans are projected to gain control of the chamber with a slim majority. When it comes to the Senate, Democrats and Republicans both held 50 seats coming into the midterms, but the Democratic Party had a majority due to their control of the vice presidency, which has the power to break ties in the Senate. Results from the midterm elections show the Democratic Party retaining control of the Senate, with the possibility of an increased majority if they win the runoff election in Georgia on December 6, 2022. Lastly, let's look at 4 among many issues impacting the midterm elections of 2022. First is the economy, where voters have suffered from historically high consumer prices, gas prices, and interest rates. Republicans have blamed policies passed by President Biden and the Democratic Party for the current economic state. Next is the issue of abortion, which is now a state-level issue after the Dobbs decision by the Supreme Court this past June. That means that each state is making its own laws about access to abortion or criminalizing abortion, and the state legislature and governors will have power to pass those laws. Next, climate change is a significant issue, with 71% of voters considering climate change as a serious problem. Progressive Democrats are pushing for legislation to combat the negative effects of climate change, including incentives towards the adoption of renewable energy and electric cars. Lastly is the issue of democracy and the validity of elections. Since 2022, many Republicans are looking to address issues around voter fraud, which could be critical for the upcoming 2024 presidential election. Did you find this video about the importance of midterms to be helpful? If so, please comment about your thoughts on the most recent midterm elections. If you liked this video, please subscribe to Illustrate to Educate for more simple and objective videos on topics that matter.